In this session, we're going to discuss the survey navigation options within the survey testing tools. I am currently on a testing link session where I have already answered punch 2 to Q1, and normally I would just hit next to continue, so now I go to Q4 in this particular case. I may want to go backwards to re-answer a question and then continue forward to see how that changes any of the operations throughout the survey. By default, the live respondents do not get a back button, but using the testing tools, there is one inherently built into it. So if I look over to the right in the Navigate Survey section, there are 3 buttons available. The second one, it looks like a rewind button, 2 triangles pointing to the left. If I click on that button, or even hover over it, it says back 1 page. So if I click on it, I will go back. And the reason why it's going from Q4 to Q1 is because it looks like there was probably a skip pattern involved here, in which I'm going from Q1 to Q4. So I just went back. If I wanted to, I could also go forward. What the forward button will do is automatically answer any question with the autofill capability on this particular page. So auto answer this question and hit the next page button for me. This is a good use case in which if you're just trying to test through a survey, maybe a screener, and you just need answers to a number of questions. Maybe you've already tested very, very thoroughly, so you know that they're all right. You can just come in here and click on this button that says Autofill Page and Continue button, which is the 3rd button over, and continue with your survey without having to click or answer anything on the page. Now, not all of the questions have this autofill option, so you may be in a scenario in which either A, you have a question by itself that doesn't have this functionality built into it, so it's not going to autofill and continue. You'd have to manually answer the question. Or if you have multiple questions on the same page, maybe a couple of them do have the autofill option and maybe one doesn't. So those 2 will be auto-answered, but the one that does not, you'd have to answer manually and hit the next page button to continue. So if I continue to hit that fast forward button, it'll just randomly answer, and then I just got to the end. Again, I can go backwards using that back 1 page and test. Maybe in this particular case, there's only one option because it's just a very rudimentary example. But if there were multiple options, you could change your response and then continue to see if any behavior changes. Another option is if you are testing the survey and maybe you're changing some look and feel options within the survey. Maybe you changed your theme or you changed some CSS within a specific question. You can just click on the refresh button within the testing tools, and that will refresh the page. If you refresh the button using the browser, then you'll have to start over. It's going to clear your session, and you'll most likely have to start again at Q1. This will just refresh the page itself using the testing tools. So it's a good way to make modifications in a survey just for look and feel, and then come back to the survey itself, so you can go back and forth between the build and edit and the actual survey to see what it looks like just by using the refresh button here. Another option you can utilize is the skip to feature. This one is a great feature because it will allow you to skip to a specific page or question. So if, again, maybe I have tested my full screener, I don't need to answer any of that. I just want to get to a specific question. Maybe it's Q5. I can start typing in Q5, and this autofill dropdown will filter the options out that are not applicable. So if I want to skip to Q5, I can click on that, and then you'll have 2 options. The default is instant, where it even tells you that it's the fastest, but does not autofill in questions with test data, meaning that all of the questions in between are just going to be blank. you're just really skipping to that specific question in this particular case to get there and answer it and maybe see usability or anything like that. But no answers will be filled in for anything prior to this question. That's the default. You do also have the ability to autofill answers with a test data template if you've created one. We'll go into the test data template setup in a future session as well. But just for now, I'm going to leave it as instant, again, which is the default. I'll click on go, and it'll just get me directly to Q5. I can go back again, and if maybe I do not want to skip to Q5, maybe I type in the number 4 as an example. You'll have Q4 or page 4. Use cases for the page versus question is mainly because if page 4 is a logic page, maybe you've answered a couple of questions to this point, and you want to skip to page 4, which in theory could be a logic page, and you need those items to execute, you can skip to that logic page and then continue with the survey. If you skipped to a question directly after page 4, as an example, anything in between would not execute, so that page 4 logic would not ever happen. It would be ignored completely. So if you need to skip to a logic page to make sure those particular items do happen, then you can use the page feature. So those are both good use cases of being able to skip to a page or skip to a question. And that is the way to use the navigation section of the testing tools.